But then I get to turn on the news and I see that the president has nailed Vladimir Putin, huh? I mean...
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe what he did.
Burn your butt.
Whew.
That's what I'm saying right there.
If Reagan could have thought of this back in the 80s, there would have been no Cold War.
The wall would have been down by now.
Yeah. In fact, the Russian Federation is over.
Whoa, we can now...
You can announce that? I feel like it's a little early.
The Russian Federation has just ended.
Really? What happened?
No civilization can withstand the freezing of assets of 7 of their citizens who don't have assets outside of Russia.
Holy cow.
No nation can withstand
now, let
such
me
a
ask
thing.
you this.
But there were also, I don't want to downplay this because Jeffy reminded me earlier today, there were also 4 Ukrainians whose assets outside of Ukraine were frozen.
That they don't have.
But they were frozen nonetheless.
So, if you wanted to mock the president, you would come out and say, Mr. President, what happens if none of us have assets outside? But you probably thought of that already, huh?
Which they did.
Oh, no, they did. But they weren't mocking him.
No,
of course not.
They were just asking him
a legitimate question.
As an expert on the policy, because he came up with it.
Well, it is a legitimate question.
It is.
Hey, Mr. President, what happens if those 7 people don't have any assets outside of the Soviet Union or Russia?
Did you think about that?
Think about that one? You 12-year-old dope?
This guy is an unending embarrassment.
Embarrassment.
Seriously.
Unending. It is a perpetual cycle of just buffoonery.
Here's what's so crazy. He thinks by just the sheer will of force, just because he's Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And this is what really frightens me. Putin's response is to mock.
Which he did.
Mm-hmm.
He has... He has now offered sanctions on U.S. senators. And in fact, that's so frightening a prospect that John McCain said he hopes he's one of them. It'd be a real honor to be one of them. So he's just mocking right back.
Here's what happened. We have taken something this serious and we have made it personal. I've never seen the president of the United States do this. We're watching 2 bullies make it personal, when all the people around the world are going to suffer greatly because, and let me just say, the good news is our president has never demonstrated any kind of arrogance. He has never come across as a guy who thinks that he is the end all and be all. He has never come across as quite honestly a dictator, a Marxist dictator. And that's good news because I have studied Marxist dictators and Marxist revolutionaries. And the worst thing you can do to a Marxist revolutionary is mock them. Why? Because Marxist revolutionaries and dictators just think that, well, you didn't say that to me, did you? He didn't say that to me. You think you're going to mock me? You think you're going to make fun? Do you realize who I am? That's what Marxist dictators do. And I think Putin knows it. And I think Putin knows. Remember, Hank Paulson just came out, and he just confirmed with the BBC a story that I read this morning, and I'm like, how is this even news? Hank Paulson came out, and he admitted that Russia... verified, I should say, that Russia tried to collapse the United States in 2008. That Russia went to China and said, look, you and I, we're the biggest bondholders in Freddie and Fannie, and we can collapse the United States of America right now. You pull your money out, we'll pull our money out, and it will be over. And China said, I don't think so, because they had too much money invested. I don't think so. Hank Paulson, just yesterday, confirmed that story is true. Now, I saw that story, and I thought to myself, when I read it this morning, I'm like, why is this even news? This story is like 8 months old. I came in this morning, and I said to the guys, why is this a story? Hasn't this been reported? And Joel Chewood in New York, in our New York offices, he laughed, and he said, no, Glenn, we reported it For the Record confirmed it 8 months ago. And that's how I know it.
That's where we heard it.
Right. We had it, and of course it was one of those things that we were mocked for. For the Record had it in absolute ironclad spades. And, that's crazy. That's not true, blah, blah, blah. Well, now we find out, yes, it is. And I said to the guys this morning, you want to be shocked, read the news. You want to be shocked at why everybody is so shocked? Watch For the Record. Read the Blaze, because you'll get that, and then 8 months later, everybody else will find something out, and you'll be like, why the hell is everybody shocked about this? I've known this for a long time. So we know that Putin has designs on collapsing the United States of America. That's not Glenn Beck. That's Hank Paulson, our Treasury Secretary. We know he wants to actively engage in collapsing the United States of America. So what do? Well, you spend us into oblivion. You stretch us really thin. I mean, and this is not a new theory. We know this works because we did it to them. We're so stupid, we don't even recognize our own pattern. This is how we collapse them. Let's see. They were strung out in a war in Afghanistan that just never ended. The people went south on the war in Afghanistan, started to turn and say, what are we even doing as this empire? Then we spent them into oblivion. Because socialism and communism doesn't work, we spent them into oblivion. So their resources were completely annihilated and they collapsed. And the way we did it is we worked with Al-Qaeda. We worked with the people like the Muslim Brotherhood. We worked with anyone who would take them apart anywhere in the world. That's how we did it. And then Ronald Reagan went and just schooled their premiers and just made them look like bumbling idiots on the world stage. And that thing closed down. So what are they doing to us? What's happening to us right now? And our president is making this into a personal attack. Our president, instead of being a statesman, has decided to make it about 7 people who don't even have any assets. John Kerry comes on the world stage and says, well, you better do this, otherwise there are going to be real consequences. Real consequences against 7 people who don't even have assets outside of their own country?
That's right, Glenn. Who's laughing now?
The world.
Not just 7 Ruskies, by the way. It was also 4 Ukrainians. Don't forget the 4 Ukrainians who probably don't have assets outside their own borders.
Right.
But here's the thing, Glenn.
Yeah.
We stand ready, as the president said yesterday, to draw yet another red line, which I will tell you, if crossed, would bring even tougher sanctions.
Okay, so what is the red line?
You noticed, Glenn, that Vladimir Putin was not among those mentioned whose assets were frozen. What would happen if we decided to restrict the admittance of Putin's mistresses into Walgreens pharmacies so that they did not have free and easy access to birth control?
I don't know.
How would he like that?
Well, I don't know.
A bunch of little Svetlanas and Vasilis running around the Kremlin. I'll tell you something, he wouldn't.
I don't think
Getting into his vodka day and night, he'd hate that.
All right.
We're also considering drastic measures, like cutting off Viktor Bogdanovic's Balanovsky's 30% off coupon at Medieval Times.
Wait a minute.
How about that?
You're gonna what's his
Try
name
that
again?
on for size.
What's his name again?
Viktor Bogdanovich Balanovsky. Try that.
I don't want to try that.
No more picking up turkey legs with his fingers and rooting for the Red Knight on Thursday evenings at Medieval Times.
Right.
Not for Bogdanovich.
Well, at least not for 30% off.
Not
He can
for
still go.
Thank you, that's true.
Yeah, he can still
true.
go in. So you're not barring him from Medieval Times. You just not letting
No,
him.
we're just not allowing him the 30% off coupon. He'll have to pay full price.
Wow.
Full price.
All right, okay.
And if you want to play the game of who the hell is Viktor Bonavadievich Belanovsky.
Right.
I'll go ahead and bite on that one.
Who is he?
As any American with half a brain knows, Glenn, he's one of only a handful of mid-level management shelf replenishers at the state-run Kroger's in Moscow.
Really?
If you want to play stupid. And Glenn, I'll tell you another thing. We have our finest ships in the United States Navy.
Yes, we do.
Which, as you know, is part of the military-industrial complex in this country that is raped, cut off limbs, cut off ears, cut off heads,
right,
blown up bodies, taped wires from portable telephones to human genitals and turned up the power, raised villages in a fashion reminiscent of Genghis Khan, poisoned foon stocks. You know who these people are.
I know who they are. That's the
You know
Navy.
who they are.
That's the U.S. Navy.
But what we're doing is maneuvering these evil bastards into position right now. Right now, they're blockading Angola, which, as you know, is a Ruski hotspot for vacation travel. No more Ruski bigwigs. We'll be headed to exotic Angola anytime soon. I'll tell you that right now.
Wow. Our sponsor this